Arjun learned early that words were powerful, not because they inspired action, but because they often killed it. As a child, he talked too much. When he wanted to learn the guitar, he told his cousins, they laughed. When he wanted to be a writer, his classmates mocked him. When he wanted to be something big, adults smiled politely, the kind of smile that quietly says you won't. So he grew up believing that if he spoke enough, one day someone would finally take him seriously. By his mid-20s, Arjun had become an expert planner, not an expert executor, an expert announcer. Every new beginning started with a declaration. When he decided to prepare for a government exam, he told his parents, his friends, and even distant relatives. When he wanted to build a side business, he posted about new beginnings and big things coming. When he thought about moving cities, he spoke about it as if the bags were already packed. The words came easily. The work didn't. At first, the attention felt good. People listened, some encouraged him, some doubted him, some compared him to others who were already ahead. But regardless of the reaction, something strange happened. Every time he shared a plan, his urgency disappeared. Once spoken aloud, the plan felt partially completed, as if saying it had scratched an itch, as if the brain had already rewarded him for success that hadn't happened yet. Days passed, weeks passed. The plan remained exactly where it started, inside a conversation, not inside reality. And then came the questions. So how's the exam prep going? Did you start the business? When are you moving? Each question carried weight, not encouragement pressure, the kind that presses on your chest when you haven't moved, but everyone thinks you have. Slowly, Arjun started avoiding people, not because he hated them, but because he hated being reminded of promises he never actually made to himself, only to others. The worst part wasn't failure. It was the shame of being seen trying and not finishing. One evening, after another day wasted scrolling and overthinking, Arjun sat alone in a small tea stall near the bus stop. The sky was dull, the kind of gray that makes time feel heavy. An old man sat beside him, quietly sipping tea. They didn't speak at first. After a while, Arjun muttered almost to himself, I have so many plans, but nothing moves. The old man looked at him, calm and uncurious, and said, because you're living them in public before they're ready to breathe. Arjun frowned. What do you mean? The man placed his cup down gently. Tell me, when farmers plant seeds, do they invite the village to watch? No, Arjun said. Why? Because it takes time. The man nodded. And because seeds grow in darkness. In silence, away from opinions. Arjun didn't reply. The man continued. Every time you tell people your plan, you expose it to whether it isn't strong enough to survive yet. Doubt, comparison, jealousy, advice, expectations. Even praise can rot a young idea. That night, Arjun walked home slowly. For the first time, he didn't feel motivated. He felt clear. The silence begins. His next plan was simple. Wake up early and study for 2 hours every day. And for the first time in his life, he told no one, not his parents, not his friends, not even himself, in dramatic words. No announcement, no deadline posts, no this time I'm serious. Just an alarm. And a book. The first week was ugly. He struggled. Some mornings he failed, but something was different. There was no audience, no one to disappoint, no one to impress. When he skipped a day, there was no shame, only accountability. When he studied, there was no applause, only quiet satisfaction. Silence removed pressure, and pressure had been his biggest enemy. Weeks passed, then months. Something strange happened again, but this time in his favor. The longer he stayed quiet, the stronger his discipline became. The work stopped feeling like a performance. It became personal. He noticed he didn't crave validation anymore. He didn't need someone to say, good job, because the progress spoke to him privately. People still asked questions. What are you doing these days? Anything new? Arjun smiled and said, just figuring things out. And that answer protected everything. Why silence works. He began to understand a truth most people learn too late. When you share your plans too early, you invite others into a process they cannot carry for you. Their doubts become your doubts. Their timelines become your pressure. Their failures become your fear. Silence, on the other hand, does something powerful. It lets you fail privately, learn quietly, improve without comparison, build resilience without interruption. When no one knows what you're building, nothing can attack it, not jealousy, not opinions, not even praise that makes you comfortable too soon. The reveal. A year later, things changed. Not suddenly, not dramatically, but undeniably. Arjun cleared the exam he once couldn't even begin properly. He had savings. He had discipline. He had confidence built from doing, not talking. People were shocked. When did you start preparing? How did you manage all this? You never told us. Arjun smiled, not proudly, not bitterly, but peacefully. I was busy working. That was the moment he understood the final lesson. Success doesn't need an introduction. It arrives fully formed. The truth most people don't like. People love sharing plans because plans feel like progress. But plans are fragile, and fragile things need protection, not exposure. Not everyone who asks about your dreams wants you to succeed. Some want entertainment. Some want comparison. Some want reassurance that they're not behind. And even the ones who care can unintentionally damage what you're trying to build. That's why the strongest people move quietly. They don't announce. They don't explain. They don't defend. They build first. They speak later. Remember this. Move in silence. Let results introduce you. Protect your plans like a secret, not a topic. Work until explanations are unnecessary. Subscribe if you like this story and share this to whoever needs it right now.